Hi, and welcome to 10.4 Data Sets from Displays. Here's our last lesson in Module 10. We are going to be looking at different types of graphs. How can we take our data sets that we've been looking at the last few days and represent it in some sort of display, some type of graph, right? So here today our objective, and make sure you write this down, students will identify the data set that is represented in a given display, and then from that display, from that type of graph, you will find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range of the given set of data. You will find that today a lot of our notes are from different types of graphs, and so today notes are going to be a little bit different because I don't expect you to write them down, so make sure that you are paying attention to this video you're watching, and I will tell you what you need to write down in your notes as we go. Alright, if you're not done writing the objective, go ahead and pause it. Make sure you get this written down. And we're going to start example 1. Oh, hold on. The big idea first before we start example 1. So it says here that sometimes we're given data displayed in a certain type of graph, right? And from that graph, you should be able to answer some questions about the information that it's given, such as the mean, median, mode, or range of our data. So there are many ways you can display data. So you can put data in a table or a chart. You can put it in a bar graph to see how it compares to one another. You can place it in a line plot. You can make a line graph. You can make stem and leaf plots. There are lots of different representations that you can create and make and all of that. Okay. So as you look at this page, you don't need to write any of this down, but just know that there are lots of different ways to represent the data that we have. Alright, so this is what I need for your notes. I'm not going to ask that you write down, or copy, I should say, this soccer practice bar graph. However, here I do need you to put next to example 1, and I want you to list this data set so that I know that you saw it and you're taking a look at it. So let's just walk through this bar graph though. So we have Scott here, and Scott looked over his calendar to see how many times he had a soccer practice each month. So we have the month of April, May, June, July, and August, and then on the bottom is the number of practices that were held in each month. All I'm asking for you to do here for example 1 is just to list the data set. So being able to read the bar graph and create your data. Alright, so this is what I want you to write down here. Here's our information. If you look here at each bar, so April goes to 10, so there's going to be a 10 in our number. May goes to 4. June goes to 9, July is at 7, and August is at 6. So we put those numbers. However, how I want you to write them down here is I want you to put them in order from least to greatest here. So our information, our data set from example 1 would be 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Now eventually you will find the mean, median, mode, and range of this, but for these first couple examples, just looking at the bar graph, looking at the different types of graph, and creating the data set. Alright, example 2. Alright, example 2 again. So next to example 2, you are going to list the data set. Here we have the owner of a bed and breakfast. That is how many guests they have hosted each day. So Friday through Thursday. Our number of guests are here on the side, and then the days of the week are on the bottom. And we just want to list the data set. So you do not need to write down this graph. However, we will list the data set here. So if we take a look at Friday, we have 4 guests on Friday. 3 guests on Saturday, 9 on Sunday, 8 on Monday, 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday there's 3, and Thursday there's 6. I do want you though to put them in order. So on the bottom here, this is how I want you to write it in your notes. 3, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 9. Okay, so this is a line plot here. Graphing it, just being able to read it and get that information. Alright, example 3. Alright, take a look at this kind of graph here. So soccer goals last season, this was how many goals were scored. And you notice that there is an X placed above however many times it has occurred, right? So when we go to list the data set, we can start from left to right, and it will be in order already. And however many X's are above that number, that's how many numbers are in that data set. So we have 4 X's above the number 1, so we have 4 ones. That we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3s, and then 2 4s. So that's our data set. So again, example 3, if you want to write down the graph, you can. Otherwise, just go ahead and list your data set. All right, example 4 here, stem and leaf plot. Our stem and leaf plot, our left column here is our stem, and our leaf then is what is attached to our stem. Here, this 3 represents 30. So if you take a look, I have 31, 36, 37, and another 37, right? So when it's listed twice, there's more than one of it there. There's 2. And then we go to 40, 42, 44, 44, 44, 45, 45, and 47. So see here, over here, I'm listing all our data set. 52, 56, 57, 58, 58, and another 58, which brings us to 65, 71, 87, and 88. So again, we're just listing our data set. All right, example 5 here. Here we have just a table that we are filling in listing our data here from our chart. So I put it in order already. So I went through all the 1s, and then 2s, 3s, and 5 and 9s. All right. Example 6, we're going to take example 5 here, but we're going to take it one step further. Okay, so list the data sets, and then we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. So on your homework, not only will you need to list the data sets, but I will ask you to solve for mean, median, mode, and range, which you have been practicing the last few days. So the mean is 3.29, and we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. Our median is 2, our mode is 1 and 2, and our range is 9 minus 1, which gives you 8. Okay, so make sure you pause it if you need to write all that down. All right, 10-4 is your worksheet here. You have the charts there already made. You find the information for me. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck.